welcome back to Come Charge with us. If you're new here, you're very welcome. In a change to the advertised schedule, we're actually not going to do any charging in this video. We thought it would be helpful to show you the process of pet check-in from the UK side and from the French side. We're going to caveat this with this only covers the Eurotunnel. We imagine it will be a similar process if you're going on the ferry. So while please enjoy the overlay of Jackson pottering around living his best life. This is just some edited highlights of his 14 and a 12, well how many? Well, he's nearly 15, so he's 15 years to date. So before you can even get the animal health certificate, what you have to do is make sure your dog is microchipped. I'm not sure how much a microchip costs these days, but we will find out and put a little overlay in for you. Then you also need to make sure your dog has had a rabies vaccination. This costs around £50 and it must be given at least 21 days before you get the certificate, the animal health certificate. So once you've got your microchip and your dog's had the rabies vaccination, you then have to find a vet that is able to produce an animal health certificate. Quite a lot of vets do them, but not every vet does them, if you like, because they've got to have some sort of special qualification to be able to complete it. Prices do vary. So the first one we had done for Jackson at our vet was about £250. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, the cost starts adding up when you add in a microchip plus a rabies vaccination plus £20 each way for your dog on the Eurotunnel. So it can be a pricey endeavour. But then after the first trip, we found an independent vet in our local town who charges £100, which is a little bit more palatable. There is a vet in Folkestone, I think it's called Abbeywell Vets. They can do like emergency. I don't see how they can. Do you know what, actually, Phil? I'm just thinking. Phil's with me while I'm gassing. I don't see how they can do an emergency certificate if it's got to be done within. If it's got to be at least 10 days before you travel. Or is it within 10 days of travel?
It's within 10 days.
Yes, within 10 days of travel. So they can do an emergency one, but I think it's 24 hours. We'll put a link to their website for you. And they say that they can do it from £69. So there you go, but we haven't used them yet.
So the idea would be that you would pick up the animal health certificate before you get on the
Eurotunnel. But we've always thought, oh, what if something goes wrong at the vet picking it up and then we're late for the crossing? Because now Eurotunnel have changed their penalty fares and you do get penalised if you are late for your crossing. So this is what the animal health certificate looks like. There are quite a few pages. Each one has got to be stamped and signed by the vet. There's kind of like your details, where you're going, information about your dog. I haven't actually looked at these pages.
I think the key pages really that you have to worry about are page 4.
Page 4 is important for coming back, and we'll cover that in the coming home
That's important for coming back.
But actually, it's also important for going because that also has the rabies information on.
Yeah.
The other really important page when you're going out is page 9.
Yeah, because you have to sign.
I've scribbled my signature in case anyone wants to fraudulently copy my signature, which you won't. Page 9, you've got to make sure that I signed. And then page 8 is where the vet, it's all the vet's details.
Yeah.
So that is the certificate.
And they'll also include on there, we've taken our bit off, but it'll have the clinical notes about the rabies vaccination and how and when it was done.
That was on the back page.
That was on the back
We'd kind of like stapled it on there.
So that once you have that, you're then ready to go with
Proceed
your dog.
to check-in.
So all you then need to do when you get the tunnel is you just need to remember to add your pet to the booking, which currently costs £22.
Was it 22?
£22 each way
Ooh.
per pet.
Per pet, yes.
Per
and I believe you can have 5 pets on one
Yeah.
certificate.
If you have 2 dogs, you can have them both on the same certificate.
Yes.
So at least that saves some small amount of
Well, quite a large
hard-earned
amount of money. Yes. So, yes, next stop is check-in. Okay, so what will happen is you'll enter the port and you'll see the little shuttle sign. Make sure you stay on the right. Don't go in the freight lane. We once ended up in a 50-mile-an-hour freight lane behind all the lorries, and everyone was like, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, stay on the right. And then what you'll do is you will kind of approach the check-in booths. When we filmed this video, this was in March 24, I believe. It was our first time taking the electric car to France. And you had to press all these things on the screen. Now it is done by ANPR. So it'll find your reg and then your booking number will come up and it will just ask you to confirm your time. If you're there early enough, it'll give you the option to change onto the earlier crossing, which we've done a few times at no penalty fee. So yeah, it'll do all of this gubbin still, but it'll have done it automatically. And then it'll ask you to confirm if you're in an electric car or not, and what your name is, and if you've got any pets, mainly. So yes, confirm you have a pet, and it'll tell you to drive to pet reception. It'll also print off a hanger for you to display on your wing mirror, listen to me, on your internal mirror with a little paw print on it indicating you have a pet on board. We've driven, they keep changing the layout here, and there's different ways now that you can have to go to get around to pet reception, but basically aim for the NG and Tesla chargers, and that is where pet reception is. So what we sometimes do is just pop the car onto charge while we're in pet reception. Yeah, they're changing all the layout, ready for ETIAS. The last time we went, there were none of these barriers up, and it was a different way round to customs and passport control on the UK side. So this is a fluid situation. So the chargers, so the superchargers and the NG chargers are really, really close to the pet reception. That's why it's sometimes a good idea just to plug in while you're in the pet reception. What you'll have to do is you will go in and you will hand over your animal health certificate, and they'll ask for your booking reference. While the lady or gentleman at the pet reception is checking your certificate, you'll be handed a little zapper to scan your pet's barcode. And if everything's okay, they will put you on the train, or they'll say, would you like to go onto another train? They might be able to get you onto an early one. There's also a little exercise yard where you can take your pet, unless you've got a cat or a ferret. You might not want to take your cat or ferret into the walkies yard. But the kind of reception building is next to the main terminal where there's restaurants, toilets, etc. And then in the car park there's boards that kind of like tell you when you're due to board. So when your number on your hanger is called, you drive through English and French customs, and then you can get taken to a holding area where you're parked up and waiting to be boarded onto the train. At this point you can get your pet out, or you can give them a leg stretch, give them a drink, feed them. There's also vending machines and toilets for the humans. So basically what you can do is just check your pet in and drive through. There are other options available after the passport control. When you're driving onto the tunnel, our EV, so the Tesla, you have to go into the large, follow the large lane. I think this is because of ground clearance, because the Tesla's quite low slung. Other EVs may be able to go on the top deck. They may not. They may need to go in the medium or small car lane, but Teslas have to go in large. There's people there that kind of help you park up properly at the right location, and they put some chocks in, and you have to. It'll tell you what to do, but make sure that you've got your windows down, handbrake on. It says turn your engine off, but obviously with an EV, no engine to turn off, but make sure you've popped it in park. And then when you drive off the other side, make sure you drive on the right side of the road. So drive on the left, right. she says. Can't remember which side. So 5 days before you, or at least 5 days, but no more than 5 days and no less than 24 hours before returning to England, you need to take your pet to a vet in France. So as you can see, you come over to the right hand side and you've got pet reception up there. So as I say, take your pet to a vet and have it wormed. So on your animal health certificate, your vet will fill in page.
Check in there.
So you have to check-in's over there, but you have to come this way to pet reception, and then just follow it round. So that little kind of porter cabin over there is the pet reception. So what was I saying? Yes, about the follow the paws. Your vet in France will need to fill in page 4. It just tells you the dog's microchip number, what kind of anti-wormer it's given, date and time, and then it has to be stamped. And then you'll bring this along with your pet to the pet reception. When you're in there, there's like a booth of...
We've only ever seen it this full.
Yes, we've only ever seen it like this. Not many people, because we tend to travel out of season. So this is the little building, go in the entrance, and there's a bank of about 3, I think, people. You then hand your animal health certificate over to the person, and then they will pass you a little microchip reader. You then scan your dog's microchip and hand it back to them, and then they hopefully look at the animal health certificate and say, "Oui, allez," and you then return to England. So a grand total of about 2 minutes, we're done, we're checked in. I meant to say you also need to make sure you've got your booking reservation number ready to hand to the lady or gentleman at the guichet, and then they will give you one of these pieces of paper, I don't know if you can see that says that you're checked in. We're on the 16:49 train, so we're half an hour earlier than planned. Whoop whoop.
I think that's just the time it stumped it.
Oh, I got excited then. And then you just have to pop that on your dashboard, which I will just do there. And then you come around, so reception that way, and then go back through the check-in booths. Well, shall I film the check-in booth process as well?
We can do.
Because I think what may happen is you get some ANPR action and it picks up your reservation. So self-check-in. I've got to try and do my long monkey arms here. Oh, see, it'll get you, but I might need to stretch over. You can't actually see the screen. Right, I've got to reach over now, guys. I can't reach. So what you do then is you press confirm. We are an electric. We're electric. We're electric. Next. Sorry about that. Please wait. 1746, yes please. And so they're going to give us a hanger. Hopefully. Hanger printing in progress. You probably can't read that. You get your hanger, put your leg in, you need to hang it, but I can't get my seatbelt on while filming, and then you go to check in. Now I don't know if we are going to have time to have a quick little drink of electrons.
I think that's just
do not follow to exit. You need to go around to border controls. Border controls are looking quite fluid at the moment. And so then you just follow the signs round to the left. Superchargers are here. Engies are opposite them. Are the Engies?
Yeah, the Engies are over there.
Yes. So I think what we're going to do is we might as well just plug in.
Yeah, then we'll just plug in.
Even though it's saying we're okay actually. This is we're X3, so I'll just, well, Phil is reversing.
There's really short cables on these.
Really short. Oh, we've arrived, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all right.
So we are, oh, you can't really see, bear with. Ow! The Tesla keeps shocking me. So kind of up here you have your departure board. Oh, right. Okay, Phil, we're going at 17:16. We've rescheduled to 5:15.
Oh, wow.
So we're going, basically. X3, we've got to go. So we're not even going to get a drink. So after you have been to pet reception, maybe put your car into charge, follow the lanes round to passport control and customs. You'll go through the French passport control first, and then UK passport control. Sometimes you might get siphoned off to customs for them to do like a drug swipe of your handles and your steering wheel and things. And then drive onto the tunnel. So that's pretty much it. It's a really, really straightforward process as long as you've adhered to the right timescales and followed the advice on the government website and you've got your documentation signed in the right pages. There really shouldn't be a problem with taking your pet between the UK and Europe. I do know that at the time of us recording this and putting this video together, there is a foot and mouth situation going on and they're stopping people bringing in things like sandwiches, cooked meats, cheeses, even from kind of like duty free. So that's just something to be mindful of. But there's no kind of like restrictions on pet movement. So we do hope you found this video helpful. As ever, we're more than happy to answer questions in the comments. We may have forgotten something, but we do hope that this helps you and make you feel a little less worried about taking your pet on the Eurotunnel to France. So thank you so much for being here and we will see you again soon. Bye.